the champions from parts unknown, weighing in at 265 pounds, the Spoiler. And the other half of the international tag team champions from Kiev in the Soviet Union, weighing in at 272 pounds, Nikita Kalmikoff. The referee for this match is Bernie Richard. And to start things off, it looks like we're going to have the Spoiler in against Buddy Lane as they size each other up here. The international tag team champions, the Spoiler and Nikita Kalmikoff, defending their belts right here. And what a sensational start to this card of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling. As I mentioned, we have another title coming up a little later on in the program. Leo Burke will put his international heavyweight belt on the line against maniac Frenchy Martin. Frenchy Martin has been demanding a title match on television for quite some time. He's going to get that opportunity a little later on as you see Buddy Lane with a hip toss and now a scissors press by the Spoiler before Lane pops out. Buddy Lane starting to show some maneuvers here. The Spoiler using a bit of hair to extricate himself from that particular move. But look at Buddy Lane. A good start for the team of Lane and Ronnie Hutchinson. They're definite underdogs here against the champions, the Spoiler, and Nikita Kalmikoff. Lane with a sit-down headlock and starting to apply a little bit of pressure to the cranium of the Spoiler. That masked individual who has been terrorizing Atlantic Canada ever since this new season got underway. Referee Bernie Richard looking for a possible submission. And Lane, who spends a lot of time lifting weights in his spare time, has developed his arm strength to the point where he is causing a lot of damage to the masked head of the Spoiler. There you get a good shot of the pressure being applied by Buddy Lane. And who knows the possibilities that could develop if Lane and Ronnie Hutchinson could pull off a gigantic upset here on this card of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling. It's still Buddy Lane on top. The Spoiler taking the brunt of the punishment. Fans exhorting referee Bernie Richard to watch for any possible illegal maneuvers from the Spoiler. Now a tag, and in comes Ronnie Hutchinson. Hutchinson will take a turn with a hip toss as he decks the Spoiler. Bit of hair there being pulled by the Spoiler in an attempt to somehow relieve the pressure that he has been subjected to here in the early moments of this International Tag Team Championship bout. The belts, as I mentioned, are on the line. And so far, it's been all Buddy Lane and Ronnie Hutchinson. Again, the headlock being used to maximum effectiveness here. Hutchinson, a young Canadian wrestler, an up-and-comer out of Toronto, Ontario. And he has certainly given the fans all over this maritime region a lot in terms of entertainment. With his hustling style, he's a never-say-die kind of combatant. And so far, Hutchinson and Lane have played it smart. They are not allowing the Spoiler, along with Nikita Kalmikoff, any openings. They are fighting their fight, as it were. And so far, it's paying off. Now off the ropes goes Hutchinson. Body tackle. Over the ropes we go. Hutchinson sidesteps an elbow block, and now the Spoiler finds himself subjected to a count of one. Just the one count. But a daring move by Ronnie Hutchinson. Starting things off with a shoulder tackle that decked the Spoiler, and now he has the Spoiler down once again, flat on his back. And boy, the longer this match progresses and the more that Ronnie Hutchinson and Buddy Lane stay on top, you have to wonder an upset could very well be a possibility here. The spoiler and Nikita Kalmikoff defending their championship belts, and they're not doing a very good job of it up until now. The tag, and in comes the big Russian from Kiev, Nikita Kalmikoff, with Hutchinson at his mercy, and Kalmikoff delivers a left to the midsection. Kalmikoff now with Hutchinson. Off the ropes he goes. An elbow to the throat. That may have been a little high, may have caught Ronnie Hutchinson in the throat, but the referee, Bernie Richard, had his attention distracted somewhat by the spoiler. Trying for the body slam. Now a small package by Ronnie Hutchinson. Count of two before the spoiler breaks things up. Hutchinson, what a maneuver. He gives away something like 50 pounds to Kalmikoff. Managed to avoid the body slam and nearly turned it into a small package that could very well have won his team the International Tag Team Championship belts. Now a tag. And the spoiler getting up to the second rope. Here comes the spoiler, an elbow to the midsection, and down goes Hutchinson. Now it looks as though the spoiler and Kalmikoff are starting to take control. A bit of a shouting match there between the spoiler and Buddy Lane. And Buddy Lane has to be escorted back to his corner by referee Bernie Richard. Now, a knock-him-down, drag-him-out affair is developed here in the center of the ring. Hutchinson going toe-to-toe with the spoiler. And look at Ronnie Hutchinson go up and over the spoiler. He's in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. A boot to the midsection. A right hand. And this crowd has really come alive. Ronnie Hutchinson is starting to pour it on here against the spoiler. Now a tag, and in comes Buddy Lane. Buddy Lane with an elbow. The spoiler has really been roughed up in this particular match, but he gets himself out of that situation with a knee to the face of Buddy Lane, another knee to the ribs, and a tag, and in comes Nikita Kalmikoff. Spoiler's not going to go to his corner just yet. He wants to dish out some of Buddy Lane's own medicine. Kalmikoff with a sizable weight advantage over Buddy Lane, and a big knee to the midsection, and over goes Lane. Now Kalmikoff stomps away on Lane's right shoulder. A face lock being applied right now. And suddenly the momentum that was once Lane's and Hutchinson's has shifted to the other side. Hutchinson now comes in to help out his partner. Kalmikoff taking a chop to the back. Tag, and in comes Ronnie Hutchinson. Buddy Lane making it in time. And we have another tag. And the spoiler joins the fracas that's developing at the center of the ring. Hutchinson whips his man into the ropes. Up and over. The spoiler down. And he's hurting, ladies and gentlemen. I can't believe what we're seeing here, as Hutchinson and Lane have really given a tremendous account of themselves here. Hutchinson, oh my goodness, he took the full weight of that particular blow from the spoiler. Now an elbow smash. Down goes Ronnie Hutchinson. The spoiler looking to finish off Hutchinson if he can. Into the ropes. And down goes Ronnie. This could be the backbreaker. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, the backbreaker. 1, 2, 3. And the spoiler and Nikita Kalmikoff have successfully defended their international tag team belts. It was the backbreaker that did it, ladies and gentlemen. But I'll tell you, fans all over Atlantic Canada have no reason but to feel very satisfied with the effort turned in by Buddy Lane and Ronnie Hutchinson, because they certainly gave a tremendous account of themselves here in this match against the spoiler and Nikita Kalmikoff. We'll be back with more after this. Grand Prix Wrestling, as this sensational card continues. We welcome a couple of newcomers to the Atlantic Canadian region. First of all, to my left from Detroit, Michigan, weighing in at 285 pounds, Hercules Sims.
Right here, baby, yeah.
And from the island of Martinique, weighing in at 240 pounds, Gerry Etefier. Promises to be a very exciting matchup. Gerry Etefier, a tremendous scientific wrestler, and he's demonstrating that ability right now against the powerful Hercules Sims. Hercules Sims getting the worst of that exchange. Gerry Etefier from the island of Martinique quickly winning the affection of the fans of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling. Sims not ready to come back into the ring just yet. He's a big boy, 285 out of Detroit. Etefier, a seasoned campaigner from the island of Martinique. Now Sims very cautiously working his way back into the ring area. Etefier with a wrist lock. And he twists, and he's got Hercules in a bit of pain here. I think Gerry Etefier will be heard from in a very loud way over the next few months here in Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling. You can see very early on this man's tremendous physique. And speaking of tremendous physiques, we have something that the fans have to see to believe. When I'm talking, of course, about the monster out of the Middle East, the Iranian Sheik, all 312 pounds of him. He is a gigantic monster of a man, and he will be on this program a little later on, the Iranian Sheik. And as I mentioned earlier, the International Championship belt is also on the line as Leo Burke defends his title against the maniac Frenchy Martin. But right now, let's concentrate on this particular match between Gerry Etefier and Hercules Sims. Etefier with an upside-down scissors hold on the head of Hercules Sims, and Etefier has to be careful that he doesn't be counted out himself as he attempted that particular maneuver. So far, I'd give the edge in this one to Etefier. But an eye rake by Sims quickly turns things to his advantage. Hercules with a boot to the midsection. Now a face lock. And a bit of an eye rake that went undetected by referee Ron Gauguin. Hercules Sims, an elbow smash. And Etefier felt all of that coming crashing down on top of him. A knee to the back. And Sims is really starting to deliver a beating here. He is working on the same part of the back constantly with knee and elbow smashes. Etefier, though, in superb physical condition, is able to kick out of that particular pin attempt after a count of two. Another kick to the back. And another one. Hercules Sims, with Gerry Etefier at his mercy, is really administering some punishment here. Etefier slowly getting to his feet with some assistance from Sims. Sims with a body slam, and you can see the ring canvas move after that one. A count, 1, 2, and Etefier is able to kick out. Sims thought the count was a little slow, looking for a quicker count, and now Gerry Etefier making his way back to his feet. Off the ropes, and a smash to the chest area, and down goes Hercules. Another smash from Etefier. And now Hercules Sims wants no part of Gerry Etefier. Body slam from Etefier, and Well, I guess the bigger they are, the harder they fall, as Sims, with his 285 pounds, went crashing down there. What a drop kick off the ropes from Gerry Etefier. A pin attempt, 1, 2. And somehow Etefier pulled his man out from under the pin, just as it looked like Etefier was on his way to certain victory. A flying tackle, and Sims felt the full impact there once again. Here comes Etefier again, another flying tackle with a bit of a karate chop thrown in for good measure. Sims misses with a roundhouse right, and now is enveloped in a small package. 1, 2, 3, it's all over. Gerry Etefier is your winner. His arm raised in victory by referee Ron Gauguin. The small package was the key to victory there as Gerry Etefier finishes off Hercules Sims. Well, just around the corner, we've got the international title on the line as Leo Burke defends against maniac Frenchy Martin. We'll be back with more after these. Pleasure to welcome to the interview area the 8th wonder of the world, the Cuban assassin, and the international heavyweight wrestling champion Leo Burke. We'll talk with these gentlemen in just a moment, but first we'll tell you that these and all the stars of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling can be seen tonight in Berwick, tomorrow night in New Glasgow, Monday night in Cocan and Kensington, PEI, Tuesday night in Montague and Point Verte, Wednesday night in Fredericton and Truro, Thursday night at the Halifax Forum, Friday night in Yarmouth and Bridgewater, and Saturday night in Amherst and in Berwick. Well, what about it, Cuban? I understand you have some words of encouragement for Leo Burke.
Well, first, I'm sorry that I don't sign a contract to wrestle tonight over here. But Leo Burke got a very important match, title match with Frenchy Martin. And Leo, I wish you the best luck tonight.
Thank you very much. Good luck on your flight.
We also welcome to the interview area a newcomer to Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling, Gerry Etefier from the island of Martinique in the Caribbean. And Gerry has a few words to say en français for our fans.
Merci. C'est un très grand plaisir pour moi de venir ici, la meilleure province du Canada, la plus belle de la maritime. Et je suis bien content d'être ici et de parler à tous les amis français ici à Maritime.
Merci and bonne chance.
Merci beaucoup.
Leo, what about it? Frenchy Martin, your intensity must be at an all-time record high.
Well, it certainly has reached to a boil, Gart. I'm wrestling here today on TV, putting this title on the line. He's been shooting his mouth ever since he came on, but I think if the truth was known, Frenchy Martin would like to back down. He didn't think I would accept his challenge, but I want to prove to the people that I'm not a coward. I don't hide behind a belt. I'm a people's champion. I've got a lot to prove here. Maybe nothing to gain, they tell me, a lot to lose. But as far as I see it, I got reputation, integrity here to the people. I owe them this much, and today is the day. I will put on this title on the line against Frenchy, and Frenchy, as I said before, be at your best. Leo Burke is always ready.
Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. What you were promised last week has finally arrived. The International Championship belt is on the line. Worn very proudly for the moment by Leo Burke. Now, hold on just a second, fellas. That's right, the belt is on the line. Let's introduce, first of all, the challenger from Quebec City, Quebec. Weighing in at 261 pounds, maniac Frenchy Martin. And the champion from Dorchester, New Brunswick, weighing in at 235 pounds, Leo Burke. Your referee for this title match, Bernie Richard. And Bernie Richard displays the International Heavyweight Championship belt that will be decided in the confines of the square circle right here before this Atlantic Canadian television audience. What a rivalry. What animosity has developed over the last few weeks. Leo Burke and maniac Frenchy Martin. I go back to last week when Frenchy Martin was fined $500 for attacking Leo Burke with a chair. Frenchy Martin has been demanding for quite some time that he get a title shot from Emile Dupre. He has that opportunity now.
Yes, Gar, this is, I think, one of the greatest cards we ever had on television. 2 championship matches. I'm really proud of all the talent that we have here in the Maritime this year. You know, sometimes it seems we can't really top it, but I think we overdone ourselves this time because myself and the Grand Prix officials, we've been looking around all over the country for, naturally, we always do look for the best in Canada and the United States to come here to the Maritime.
I understand as well, Emil, you've gone all the way overseas to the Middle East to find the Iranian
Sheik. We have this big Iranian. When the people see him, he is a tremendous-looking man. He's got arms, about 22-inch arms, and 6'7", and he looks like a 18-wheeler, I'll tell you. Anyways, we're expecting big things from a lot of the boys are here, but this match here, as we know, is going to be a real good match.
Well, in fact, this could get ugly after what happened last week, because Leo Burke, I don't think I've ever seen him so riled up, so emotional, after the way he was attacked brutally in the ring by Frenchy Martin with that chair. Leo had to receive some hospital treatment for the cuts and the injuries that he sustained in that attack. He has been gearing up for this particular encounter all week. He is determined to defend his championship. Frenchy Martin, on the other hand, he says he's been chasing Leo Burke all over North America.
But I'll beg you the difference. It's Leo Burke that's been begging for the match. He's been begging to wrestle Frenchy Martin. No matter what Frenchy Martin says, I would say that Frenchy might be a little bit scared of Leo Burke.
I'll put it this way, Emil. Certainly all the talking matters not one iota at this particular point in time. This issue, this war of words and whatnot, is being settled right in your living room. Here it is, Leo Burke and Frenchy Martin. The belt is on the line. Burke, the defending champion, has the upper hand right now as he applies the headlock to the cranium of maniac Frenchy Martin. Pin attempt, count of 2.
There's one thing about these two men. They've got plenty of experience. They've been in the business for 15 to 20 years apiece. And they've been around the world and then some.
Leo Burke from a long line of wrestling champions.
That's right.
Out of Dorchester, New Brunswick. And fans are starting to call now for Leo's traditional finishing hold, the sleeper. I think that might be a little premature. Could be a little early for the sleeper. Burke off the ropes. And he doesn't bother playing Frenchy's game. Burke coming down with a knee smash to the shoulder. And now into the turnbuckle goes Frenchy Martin. Leo Burke starting to dish out the punishment here. Whips Martin across to the other side of the ring. And now Frenchy is stalling for time. Frenchy Martin realizes he's at a bit of a disadvantage right now. Leo Burke holding the upper hand. And as Emil Dupre mentions, when you've got experienced wrestlers like Leo Burke, they know what to do when they have the upper hand. They won't allow a Frenchy Martin too many openings.
You know, most fans don't know or don't realize what condition you have to be a professional wrestler, and especially like today, a hot day and under the lights. It takes an awful lot of energy just to stay there and walk around. But you know, I would like to emphasize what conditions and what training in the gymnasium you have to, and a lot of road work, and to stay in shape and do this for professional wrestling.
I don't know about training, Emil, what that has to do with the fighting that Frenchy Martin has just tried to pull off on Leo Burke. I don't think there's any room for that in professional wrestling, using those kinds of tactics.
No, I'll go with you, along with you on this tactics business. He has always been a rough, tough customer, as long as I've known him.
But don't you think Frenchy Martin is a capable enough wrestler without resorting to that kind of garbage?
He is, if he wanted to be, yes. I agree with you. He has the know-how, but some of them would rather...
I guess what it all boils down to is winning. Winning is the ultimate. And
that's the name of the game. That is the name of the game.
Frenchy Martin doing his utmost to try to wrestle this championship belt away from Leo Burke. Here's the count. 1, 2. Burke kicks out and saves his title for the time being. Another count of 2. And Frenchy Martin has come that close to winning the International Heavyweight Wrestling Championship. Leo Burke trying to regain control of his faculties here. And he's going to try to stall for time as much as he can. And I'm not sure if I saw something illegal develop there. It could very well be that Frenchy Martin has a foreign object concealed, because Leo Burke seemed to take that particular blow with a little more reaction than otherwise is the norm in these cases. Burke, though, with a tremendous...
I think it's just a super match right at this moment. It's anybody's game.
It's whoever wants it most. And Leo Burke right now with a couple of right hands and a left and a right. Leo Burke, he does not, under any circumstances, want to give Frenchy Martin the pleasure of wearing that championship belt around his waist. Fans calling once again for the sleeper. This could be the time now. They were calling for it earlier. Burke, up and over, will try for the pin. 1, 2, count of 2, and Frenchy Martin is able to kick out of that particular maneuver.
Sir, it was nice talking to you. I shall return a little later down the program.
Thanks very much, promoter Emile Dupree. And I'll tell you, that man deserves a tremendous amount of credit, ladies and gentlemen, for lining up some of the talent on these Atlantic Canadian shores. Burke with a roundhouse right. This match certainly serves as an indication of Dupree's promoting ability, because you have got a couple of the keenest competitors anywhere in professional wrestling right here, battling it out in more of a street fight than anything else for this international championship belt. Burke will scale the ropes. Leo Burke going up to the ropes. He's not going to get there in time. He's going to get some assistance from Frenchy Martin. They've knocked out a television light here. Burke went as high to knock out a television light.
I saw that. Very, very good move on Frenchy Martin's behalf. You can see Frenchy Martin not messing around today. He got the championship within his grasp, and he wants it.
He's come close a couple of times as no-class Bobby Bass joins us here at the interview table. Referee Bernie Richard very quickly.
I've never seen nothing like that in my life before.
The glass. Bob, that's another dangerous aspect of wrestling when you have things like glass in the ring and whatnot.
Very, very bad. You can ground it into your body and get a sliver in there, infect it. But being an athlete, Daddy, anything goes. Listen, I come out to tell you something. I got a surprise coming on after this match. I got a man from Iranian. You heard about it, haven't you?
We've heard about the Iranian Sheik.
You have not seen him, have you?
I understand that you've made a number of long-distance telephone calls to Tehran, Iran. You have some contacts there. We've heard a lot about him. I have his statistics in front of me, 6'7", 312.
That's right. He is one of the biggest men in North America right now, and one of the toughest wrestlers in North America, and you're truly got him under contract.
But I can't believe, Bob, that an American such as yourself, who proudly displays the stars and stripes at every opportunity, would throw in your lot with someone from Tehran, Iran.
You asked me that one time before, and off camera, and I told you before, and I tell you right on camera, a dollar has no conscience. Money has no conscience. And you know it, and I know it.
Bob Bass, a man who has sold his soul for rock and roll and the almighty buck.
I don't like rock and roll. I'm a country fan, Daddy. Get that rock and roll garbage out of here. Look at this match here. The both men are war right down.
I know where your allegiances lie in this one, so I won't even ask.
May the best man win. That's my allegiance win, and it's going to be Frenchy Martin. I tell it like it is.
Well, right now, it's Leo Burke.
By the hair, you notice.
Who is starting to come on strong. Leo Burke trying to put Frenchy up, and over he goes. Frenchy Martin is down. Burke just can't seem to muster enough strength to apply a finishing hold.
Well, you must realize at this particular time that both men are very tired of battling from the beginning of the match.
1, 2. Martin kicks out. Burke was that close to defending his championship successfully.
Well, it's only counting horseshoes. Both men have been going since the onslaught.
And oh my goodness, Leo Burke, looking to finish off Frenchy Martin once and for all, may have shot himself in the foot. Leo Burke, as Bob Bass has mentioned, both men very tired. Burke took the worst of that exchange. And now Frenchy Martin is in a position to put away Leo Burke. A right and another right. And out onto the studio floor goes Leo Burke. Frenchy Martin.
You can say this is a hard-fought match. Both men want the championship. I know Frenchy wanted it very bad. He confided to me that it'd be his pride to be the international heavyweight champion. And of course, on Leo's behalf, you got to remember him. He does not want to give it up. He'll fight for everything he got.
Well, right now it's Frenchy Martin. And now Leo Burke with a few chops of his own. This is a street fight.
You got it.
This is not what you would call scientific wrestling.
That's how Leo Burke fights all the time, street fight style. I don't know where you get this scientific thing. Way to go, Frenchy Jenny!
Frenchy Martin, and oh my goodness, Leo Burke coming off the turnbuckle, knocked referee Bernie Richard to the canvas, and I can't be certain, but it looks as though Frenchy Martin has employed some other tactics. 1, 2, Frenchy Martin kicks out. What has happened here, ladies and gentlemen? Frenchy Martin went to his trunks. He may have used a foreign object. 1, 2, 3. We have a new champion.
That's right.
We have a new champion. Frenchy Martin is the new international heavyweight champion. And we will present the belt to Frenchy Martin. The circumstances may have been somewhat questionable, but there is no denying the fact that he has won the International Heavyweight Championship belt. Some unusual circumstances developing there. And now Frenchy.
I told you, and I told the world, that I could beat Leo Burke. I've out-wrestled him. I've punched him. I've everything out of him. I am the new international champion, and 6 million people saw it on TV.
Well, there's no denying the fact that Frenchy Martin has come away with the International Championship belt. Referee Bernie Richard has some questions he wants to ask of Frenchy Martin. They are looking for a possible foreign object in the trunks. Promoter Emile Dupre is asking that a search be conducted, and I don't think they can find anything. Again, it appeared as though Frenchy went to the trunks, used the foreign object, knocked Leo Burke out. Burke, for a moment, came out looking like he might have Frenchy locked up in the small package, and possibly the title was his to keep again. But Frenchy Martin... Now, what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen? Emile Dupre is saying, we've got a disagreement here. Emile Dupre is saying that Leo has held the title. The referee, Bernie Richard, says no. The fans seem to agree that Leo is the champion, but Bernie Richard is saying the count of 3 was administered. We'll see what happens as Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling continues after this. Like it or not, as it stands now, he is the new International Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, Maniac Frenchy Martin. We'll hear his thoughts in just a moment. But first, we want to tell you that Frenchy and all the stars of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling can be seen tonight in Berwick, tomorrow night in New Glasgow, Monday night in Kokan and Kensington, PEI, Tuesday night in Montague and Point Verde, Wednesday night in Fredericton and in Truro, Thursday night at the Halifax Forum, Friday in Yarmouth and Bridgewater, and Saturday in Amherst and Berwick. What about it, Frenchy? A very controversial ending to that title match with Leo Burke. I thought I might have seen a foreign object being utilized by yourself, but I guess what matters is the belt you have here.
Well, as I proved before, I said to Leo Burke that I was going to defeat him right on TV, and you saw it, no problem whatsoever. And here is the title. He thought he'd be cute and telling the Maritimes that Frenchy Martin's not the man enough for him. Well, I think I just proved that I was the Republic's greatest athlete. And as far as your foreign object is concerned, I always carry, that's not a foreign object, that's an handkerchief. Understand? That handkerchief. Well, you can open it if you want to.
It's definitely a handkerchief.
Yes, and that's because, you know, in the Maritimes, they forget to put the air conditioner in a lot of places, and I use it to get the sweat off my face, and I got Leo Burke out of my way. And I know they'll all be coming, and Leo Burke, you're going to have to stand in line like I did. You thought you were the greatest. But when it boiled down to the real thing, you know who's the greatest athlete in the maritime right now, and it's me, Frenchy Martin. I'm not here for a season like I say. I came for that reason, and I got this title. And Leo Burke, who knows? You might not even have another chance at it.
Well, we have a parade of champions, it seems. The spoiler and Nikita Kalmikoff making their way to the interview area. The international tag team champions. And what about it, spoiler?
Well, I'm not worried about our international tag team belts. It's unquestionably the fact that we are the international tag team champions and totally undefeated. What I got to say is about the Cuban. The Cuban has got a lot of gall to come after me and think that he can put me down.
Welcome back to Atlanta Grand Prix Wrestling. And ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking about this individual for quite some time. Bobby Bass was trumpeting the fact that he had managed to secure this individual from the Middle East, and here he is, stepping into the ring.
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Look at this. Look at this man, Daddy. You go ahead and announce him. Didn't I tell you?
Well, courtesy of Bobby Bass, let's introduce from Tehran, Iran, weighing in at 312 pounds, the Iranian Sheik. His opponent from Winnipeg, Manitoba, weighing in at 235 pounds, Rick Patterson. And this match has started before the bell has even sounded. The Iranian Sheik not even removing his headdress, his traditional Middle Eastern garb, and his sunglasses. The Iranian Sheik, 6'7", 312, wants to make his presence felt in a hurry here in Atlantic Canada.
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Look at the size of that man, Daddy. Look at the size of that man.
Is that a man?
That is a man.
It looks more like a machine.
Yeah, it's a machine, all right. You got that right.
I'll give. It's not often I agree with Bobby Bass, but I will give him his due. I will give him his credit here. When it comes to lining up prospective wrestlers and bringing them into Atlantic Canada, Bobby, I hate to tip my hat, but I'll say your talent as a manager is second to none.
They make me laugh, you know. They call me Mummy's Boy, don't they? You know that. But you know, Mama writes the check, and I just fill in the little name, and I fill in the amount, and I didn't mind spending Mama's money for that. Look at him, man.
If you don't mind me asking, just how much money is involved here?
None of your business how much it's paid, Daddy. None of your business.
Well, Bobby Bass obviously feels the fans don't have a right to know. But I can only suspect the amount is considerable when you look at the Iranian Sheik.
Boy!
A man who can write his own ticket anywhere. And he is really doing some damage on Rick Patterson. Look at Patterson. You got to remember, Rick Patterson is a pretty rugged customer himself. Rick Patterson with a number of chops.
I'll let you tell. I'm going to go let you.
He wasn't able to flinch the Iranian Sheik one bit. Back to the match just completed. Frenchy Martin, the new international heavyweight wrestling champion. There was some confusion at the end of the match as to the proper ruling. Promoter Emile Dupré was in the square circle raising Leo's arm in victory. But that is not the case. The referee's word is final. Referee Bernie Richard had counted Leo Burke out at 3. And as a result, Maniac Frenchy Martin is the new international heavyweight wrestling champion. The referee's word is final, according to the rules and regulations of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling. The Iranian Sheik up and over Rick Patterson with a body slam hard to the canvas. The Iranian Sheik says he wants some competition. A possible pile driver turns into a semi-backbreaker. Count of 1, 2, 3. That's it. Rick Patterson never really was in this one, as the Iranian Sheik is proclaimed the winner by referee Ron Gauguin. The Iranian Sheik, every bit the man that Bobby Bass professed him to be, coming in at 6'7", 312 pounds, and he certainly showed that he has wrestling ability to boot as he finished off Rick Patterson in rather convincing fashion. We'll be back with more after this. We welcome now to the interview area no-class Bobby Bass and his protege, the massive Iranian Sheik, and we'll talk with these gentlemen in just a moment. But first, we'll tell you that these and all the stars of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling can be seen tonight in Berwick, tomorrow night in New Glasgow, Monday night in Kokan and Kensington, PEI, Tuesday night in Montague and Point Baird, Wednesday night in Fredericton and Truro, Thursday night at the Halifax Forum, Friday in Yarmouth and Bridgewater, and Saturday in Amherst and Berwick. What about it, Bob?
First of all, let me say congratulations to Frenchy Martin on the great scientific win over Leonard Burke. Now, as you see here, I have a man. He's 312 pounds, 6'7". Look at the arm on the man. And you're going to ask me, why is he here? He's here on 2 business deals. Number 1 for me, number 2, an oil deal. Now, you're going to think you ask me about him, you go right ahead, because I got lots to say about him. What do you want to know?
Well, I want to
know. How great he is? Well, he's absolutely great.
Well, first of all, what are his intentions here?
His
you must have a
intentions
battle plan.
Of burying everybody in the Maritime, including Leo Burke and everybody on the way down, whoever stepped in my way. In other words, whoever I don't like, he's going to step on him like a bug and squash him. And you know what? I am so happy. People make me laugh. You say, I'm a mama's boy. I'm a crybaby. But you know what? I always get what I want. It never fails. No matter how they try to stop me. Demille Dupree, big-time promoter, brings in Leo Burke. He brings in the Cuban assassin, Cousin Mike. But let me tell you something, Daddy. You can't stop me. Every time you turn around, I make a move and hit my move. Now, what are you going to do now? You're going to chastise me? You're going to give me bandit again? Well, you can't do it. My contract is ironclad, Daddy. And let me warn all you geeks and freaks out there. This man is going to drop you 1 by 1, maybe 2 by 2. I don't know. You're going down. Down, down, down. I just tired with you guys, man. You're going down for the count of 1, 2, 3, and I just might make him count 5. He's going down, down. That's it.
A tremendous finishing match for what has already been a super card of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling as Sonny Warcloud steps into the ring.
Woo! Indian Dog,
Let's not get carried away here, boys. Introducing, first of all, from Pampa, Texas, weighing in at 238 pounds, no class, Bobby Bass.
And the American flag stands for honesty and liberty, and Bobby Bass.
Well, if you're talking a true American, let's welcome from the state of Oklahoma, weighing in at 235 pounds, Sonny Warcloud. I'm getting out of here in a hurry. Your referee for this match is Bernie Richard, a man who did not win any friends among the fans of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling earlier in this program. It was Richard who counted Leo Burke out 1, 2, 3, allowing the International Championship belt to change hands, and it now is to be worn around the waist of one Frenchy Martin. Frenchy Martin, in case you missed it, is the new International Heavyweight Wrestling Champion. But right now, this should be a dandy. Texan Bobby Bass up against an Oklahoman and Sonny Warcloud. Those two states already have a tremendous rivalry in terms of football, the annual Texas Longhorn Oklahoma Sooner matchup. A very bitter rivalry, and of course, that carries over here into the wrestling ring between Sonny Warcloud and Bobby Bass. The crowd starting to pick up the Indian war chants. Sonny Warcloud, who's developed quite a following here in Atlantic Canada, wants to get something started. Bobby Bass is stalling for time. Bass with a knee to the midsection, and that takes some wind out of Sonny Warcloud's sails. Bass using his right foot, and now he's got Sonny Warcloud in all kinds of difficulty. Warcloud with his head sandwiched between the ropes and Bobby Bass's foot before the referee, Bernie Richard, was able to break it up. Bass with all kinds of right hands. And now Bobby Bass will simply toss his man out of the ring area onto the studio floor. And now referee Bernie Richard begins the count. Warcloud has until the count of 20 to make it back into the ring. The fans are starting to get on Bobby Bass. And if there's one thing that really bothers Bobby Bass, it's hearing the fans. If Bobby Bass had his way, he would wrestle in total silence. He says it disturbs his concentration. He wishes fans would keep quiet at his matches, but that, however, is often not the case. Fans all over Atlantic Canada just love to ride this man they call the Bass Man. Sonny Warcloud, he wants to get things going. He wants to mix it up. But this is where the experience of a Bobby Bass comes into play. He is simply stalling for time. He is waiting until Warcloud's anger dissipates. Now Bass, if you can believe it, wants to shake hands. I don't believe it. We have a handshake here. Is it genuine? No, it's not. Warcloud right away. Warcloud dispels any notion that a friendship could be developing here. Bass complaining to the referee that Warcloud is using a closed fist, which of course is illegal in professional wrestling. The open fist is certainly allowed under the rules and regulations. Sonny Warcloud stalking his opponent. He has been doing that for much of this match. But Bobby Bass quickly with a headlock, and now a closed fist to the eye. Bobby Bass with a punch right in the eye, head into the turnbuckle. And now Bass receives some of his own medicine, an Indian chop to the throat, and Bobby Bass wants no part of that. Bobby Bass makes a quick exit, and he is being counted out now. Warcloud would love to go outside the ring and get things going. Bass arguing with a few of the cameramen and technicians. He is truly a man without any friends here in Atlantic Canada. He has made enemies all over the region, and he has no one but himself to blame for that. But he says, that's all right. I'll just continue to sign people like the Iranian Sheik into my stable, and I won't need any friends at all. I can back up my words with action. So far, Bobby Bass has done that. He's asking referee Bernie Richard to watch for the hair. I haven't seen any hair. Now Warcloud twisting the arm of Bobby Bass. Bobby Bass resorting to using semi-profanities. And Warcloud, so far, has dominated in this particular match. He has a wrist lock on Bass right now. And there you can see on the face of Bobby Bass the exertion that is being applied to his wrist by Sonny Warcloud. Now Bass finally breaks the hold with a chop to the face. Now a rake across the back. Another rake across the back. And now this is very painful and certainly uncalled for. Bass applying an illegal face lock on Sonny Warcloud. We're nearing the end of this particular match. Bobby Bass, now holding the upper hand, delivers a right hand to the throat of Sonny Warcloud. Bass has come on strong after a slow start in this match, and he's starting to dish it out. I've never questioned the man's wrestling ability or his managerial tactics, but I certainly question his methods at some times in the square circle. But Bobby Bass has kept his nose clean in this one for the most part. Off the ropes, up and over! Sonny Warcloud. Another chop, another one. Warcloud can really stir things up in a hurry, and he's got this crowd going. Warcloud with a couple of boots to the midsection. He's looking to finish off Bobby Bass if he can here. Body slam, and now in comes Warcloud looking for the kill. Here comes the count. 1, 2. Oh, my. It looked to me as though Bobby Bass was down and out, finished in this match. Did referee Bernie Richard hold up and call a slow count? If I was Sonny Warcloud, I'd check the videotapes and at least bring the issue up, because it looked as though to me that Warcloud had Bass down and out finished. Now Warcloud has a bit of a dance on the midsection of Bobby Bass, and here he comes in, looking to finish off Bass just as soon as possible. An Indian chop to the head, catching Bobby in the bald spot. We are nearing the end of this match. Still no fall between Sonny Warcloud and no class Bobby Bass. That's it. It's over, and we have a draw. Referee Bernie Richard indicates it is a draw between Sonny Warcloud and no class Bobby Bass. So certainly two game combatants put it together there, and we will be back with more on Atlantic Grand